Hello, Hachil. This is the third lesson on inequalities. If you haven't seen the previous two lessons, make sure you go back and watch those lessons first and then come back to the third lesson. Today, we are going to learn about upper and lower limits of an inequalities. And the keywords are very similar to the ones we have been using for last two lessons: greater than, less than, set notation, and inequality. Okay, let's begin the lesson. Okay, you see an inequality like that. There are two methods to solve this. I'm going to use two methods, and all I'm going to make by doing this is 1 point, something new you are going to learn from this slide, which is very simple rule. So let's see. Um, if you want to solve this inequality, the first thing you need to do is get rid of that 13. So how can we get rid of 13? We have to minus 13 both sides. And then we end up with minus 3x greater than minus 6. And then you have to get rid of minus 3. So minus 3 is timesing x. We have to divide it. So it's going to be divided by minus 3 both sides. And that is the point you have to learn. This is something new, which is when you have an inequality and you divide both sides of inequality by a negative number, the inequality flip like that. So minus 3 divided by minus 3 is just 1, nothing, x. And then minus 6 divided by minus 3 is 2. There's nothing new about that, but the only new thing is that greater than sign now has flipped. Okay, so that's the only new thing you learn from this slide. When you divide the inequality by a negative number, the greater than sign flips. Okay, so this is our answer. Just to prove our answer is right, I'm going to use another method to see if I get the same answer as this one. Okay, so let's see. Let's say we get rid of minus 3 first. In order to get rid of minus 3x, we have to do plus 3x. So we add 3x to both sides. On this side, we will have minus 3x and plus 3x, which will give us nothing. So we will have 13 only, greater than 7 plus 3x. Then we subtract 7 from both sides. We get 6 greater than 3x. And then we divide by 3. Remember, because we only divide by 3 is not a negative number, so the greater sign does not flip. It only flips if you divide it by a negative number. But as you can see, 3 is not negative, so it doesn't flip. And this is our answer. And if you notice, this answer here is exactly same as that answer, because you read this answer as x less than 2. And in this inequality, you can see x is still less than 2. 2 is greater than x. And here 2 is greater than x. It's just a different way of writing it. Or you can just write it exactly the same. X is less than 2. So both methods give you the same answer. So here is the only rule you have to be mindful of. This is something new. So make a note of this. Pause the video, make a note. Okay, so here is a question for, and then the answer you want to write is x, set of x such that x is less than 2. Okay, so here is another example for you to try. Okay, try both methods, make sure you get the same answer. Pause the video, and once you finish, we go through the answers together. Okay, let's go through the answers together. So in this question, first we need to get rid of 15. So we subtract 15 both sides. and we get minus 3x greater than, and then we need to get rid of that minus 3x, which is timesing to x. So we divide both sides by minus 3. Remember, when you divide by a minus number, the equality sign flips. So x is less than 3. And if you do that, if you do the same thing but using another method, you should get exactly the same answer. So on this side, we are going to get rid of minus 3x. So we do opposite minus 3x, which is plus 3x, and then we get 15 greater than 6 plus 3x. And then we get rid of 6. We do minus 6 both sides. You're going to get 9 greater than 3x. And then we divide both sides by 3. Remember, this 3 is not a negative number, so it doesn't flip the inequality sign. And then you get 3 is greater than x. Both of these are the same thing. X is less than 3, and here 3 is greater than x, or x is less than 3. You can write it like that. And then remember that rule. If you forgot about this rule, you would get the different answer for the same question. And then the set notation would be set of x such that x is less than 3. Okay, let's have a look on a question like this. So you have an inequality which has got 3 parts. It's got the lower parts, lower limit, which is this one, and then you have the middle part, and then you have the upper parts. So the question says p is an integer. Remember, integer is a whole number, so it can't be decimal. And then it says find all the possible value for p. The way to solve this inequality is to ignore the upper part first and focus on lower limits and the middle parts, like that. Forget about the upper part. Now, solve this inequality. To start with, we have to add 1 to both sides in order to get rid of minus 1. So let's add 1 to both sides. If you add 1 on both sides, on this side, you're going to get just 2p. And in this side, you're going to get minus 3 add 1. So when you do that, minus 3 add 1, you're going to get minus 2 less than 2p. And then you divide both sides by 2. Remember, it's not a negative number, so it doesn't flip the sign. So when you divide by 2, you're going to get p is equal minus 1. Now, the second step is ignore the lower limit this time, and then focus on the middle part and the upper limit, like that. Now, solve this part. So the first thing is to get rid of minus 1. So you add 1 to both sides. You're going to get 2p is less than or equal to 8 plus 1. Simplify that. 8 plus 1 is simply 9. And then we need to divide both sides by 2. Divide both sides by 2, you get p is less than or equal to 4.5. Now, put these two together, and if you notice, both of them have got p. So that p goes in the middle. Lower limit is minus 1, and upper limit is 4.5, like that. P is such that the lower limit is minus 1, the higher limit is 4.5. And we just carry that line there, here as well. Now, the question says p is an integer, find all the possible value. So we have to give them a list of all the possible values. So if p is greater than minus 1, the possible value would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we can't have 5 because p has to be less than 4.5, and it has to be integer, like a whole number. Okay, so here another one for you to try. Pause the video, have a go. Once you finish, we go through the answers together. Okay, Let's go through the answers. So let's first focus on the lower limit and the middle part. That's it. So 2p plus 1, we have to take away 1 from each side. And then minus 7 minus 1 is minus 8. Divide both sides by 2. And you get minus 4 for lower limit. And then now focus on the middle part and the right hand side. Okay, so take away 1 from both sides. You get that. You get 2p less than or equal to 6. And then divide by 2 both sides. You get p is less than or equal to 3. Put these two together. P in the middle. You get minus 4 as a lower limit and 3 as a upper limit. Now list all the possible values. So p is greater than minus 4. The answer must be minus 3, minus 2, and all the way. And p could be less than or equal to 3. Here is the answer. Okay. Today we have an extra activity. It's just like a game. Copy this link and put it in your address bar. It will take you to a page like that. Obviously, it will ask you for your name. Once you put your name, you will have a go on this game. The question are like this. You see an equality and a set notation like this. If the set notation is correct for that inequality, you have to click on the mole with the mouse. And if it's not correct, just ignore it. And then I will see who get the highest score. That's one activity for this lesson. And then you can have a go as many times as you like till you get a better score. And then the second is this one. Set 2 and 3, just have a go on the red and amber. Set 1, obviously challenge yourself to the green as well. Take a picture only of this page, not all the previous pages. Apart from the game, you need to take a picture from the game as well. How well did you get on with the game? And for this lesson, you need to send 2 pictures, one from the game and one from this page, and post it on ClassChat. Upload it on ClassChat. Have a good rest of the day.